Naomi.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I'm Naomi Natisoa, and I would be presenting how to apply for jobs at the U.S. Embassy. Okay, good afternoon again. Sorry this afternoon, I'm apologizing. We were having a little technical mishap, but we got it sorted. I would introduce myself again. My name is Naomi Natisoa, and I'm part of the HR recruitment team of the US Embassy. And today we'll be talking about how to apply for jobs at the embassy. And we will start off with a brief introduction of what ERA is, why ERA is useful for us, and the fact why the US Embassy is an equal opportunity employer. We'll talk about the role applicants play in ERA. We'll talk about the recruitment processes and hiring mechanism. We'll talk about account creation in ERA. We would also talk about managing your accounts in ERA, after which we would have a Q&A session. So you are welcome to leave your questions in the chat session, and we'll try as much as possible to address all your questions posed. Okay, so ERA is powered by Monster and is used worldwide. And applicants, once you have internet access, you can have access to the ERA platform, and it works best in Google Chrome. So now let's talk about why ERA is so useful for us. Like I said earlier, that ERA is powered by Monster. It's a recruitment platform that is cloud-based, and it makes it easier to access no matter where you are in the world. And it has a standard vacancy builder. All our vacancy announcements are compliant using the latest guidance of the Department of State. And it has tracking solutions. So that means that you have accurate history, and that makes it easy to go back and review information you have inputted in ERA. And it has an applicant management software. It automatically saves time, and you can do better recruitment. And of course, it saves time in printing, and we save the trees as well. Okay, so the US mission provides equal opportunity and fair and equitable treatment in employment to all people without regard to race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, political affiliation, marital status, or sexual orientation. The US government also strives to achieve equal employment opportunity in all personnel operations through continuing diversity enhancement programs. Okay, so the recruitment policy we have for the US Embassy in Ghana's goal is to have the best possible staff. Mission recruitment efforts are geared towards hiring talented and qualified employees who have the potential to expand their skills and knowledge. The applicant's role in ERA. Applicants are responsible for completing their job applications in ERA and make sure they provide supporting documents as the position requires, and complete and pass any required tests, after which you'll be invited to attend interviews. So next, we are going to be talking about the recruitment processes. Applications, all applications must be submitted in error. HR reviews applications received after closing date. All qualifications stated in the vacancy announcement must be met. Shortlisted applications are contacted for pre-employment testing and interviews respectively, after which the applicant selection is made by the hiring office. Conditional offers are issued to the selected applicants. And when that is done, if the applicant accepts, we initiate a security and medical security clearance. Applicants must pass both clearances to be eligible to work with the US government. Successful candidates will be contacted to start work. So the US Embassy has a hiring mechanism we use when we are posting vacancies. All vacancies posted in the Embassy website has a hiring mechanism. Vacancies are either open to US EFMs, current employees of the mission, or all interested candidates or US citizens only. So please ensure that when you are applying for a job, you check to make sure you fall within the category stated above before applying for a position. So next, we are going to be talking about how to create an account in error. As mentioned earlier, all applicants are required to apply for jobs electronically through the website. All applicants must set up an account, and please, it's important to note that Embassy Accra does not accept emailed, faxed, or paper applications. We only accept applications that you have applied for through error. And there's a caveat. US Aid and Peace Corps continues to use the manual application process. So you would need to follow the instructions given on each vacancy announcement before applying. And please, to those do so, visit the link on the job opening page on the US Embassy for more information. Okay, so now let's talk about how to create an account in error. You would need to click on the URL, but sometimes I think there are a few people who ask, how do I get the link to error? Just go to Google and type US Embassy Accra jobs, and it will take you to the Embassy website. Click on that link, and that should take you to a page that says job openings at the embassy. Once you are there, you can click on current vacancies. When you click on current vacancies, it will take you to a page that looks like what you see on your screen. You have the option to log in or to click on the vacancy announcement to apply or to email to a friend if the need be. Okay, so in creating an account, you will need to click on create an account. That will take you to an account creation page. When you get to that page, from my screen, you can see you have the option to enter your name, your first and last name, your contact information, that's your address, your telephone number, and your email address. When you're done inputting your personal information, you can click on next, and then your account will be created in error. Make sure you see the congratulatory message which says, congratulations, your account has been created. So now let's talk about how to apply for jobs in error. So from the previous slide, we talked about how to create an account. So we are assuming that you have your email address and your password information. Please ensure that you safeguard your username, your password, and your security questions so that just in case you forget your password, you can click on the forgot user ID portion to reset your password. Okay, so in applying for jobs, you can use the search option to search, or you can click on a vacancy announcement. Once you click on the vacancy announcement, you get the option to apply for the position. And when you click on apply for the position, it takes you to your eligibility questions. You have to make sure you input all the information with asterisks. All questions that has asterisks, make sure you answer those questions. If not, it will not allow you to move forward with your submission. Once you are done with the eligibility questions, you can click on next, and it will take you to a series-based question where it would ask questions in regards to the job you're applying for, to test your job knowledge. Please note that in applying for jobs, you need to build your resume sort of in error. So make sure that you put in all your education, your work experience, all relevant information relating to the job before you submit your application. It's very important. Make sure you build your vacancy, your application properly. So when you're done building your application, it will take you to a vacancy question page where it would ask a technical question relating to the job. Please note that you need to be mindful when you are answering this question, because that determines how far you would go in the recruitment process. And then there's a very important bit, uploading your documents. All vacancies have requirements. You will need to upload documents stated in the vacancy announcement. So for instance, if the vacancy is asking for a bachelor's degree in business administration, if it's asking for your ability to drive and etc., you make sure you upload all those relevant documents when you're you make sure you upload all the relevant documents. When you are done uploading, you have the option to submit. but you also have, before the vacancy closes, you have the option to edit your application or upload additional documents before the closing date. Please note that from our side, we only assess applicants' application as submitted. We don't assume we know you and whatnot. So you have to make sure that when you're applying for a job, you input all relevant information before the closing date. So when you're done submitting your application, you will get a congratulatory message which says, thank you for successfully submitting your application. You can view your dashboard or return to a vacancy listing. And yes. Okay, so now we are going to be talking about managing your accounts in ERA. There are a few things you can do in managing your accounts. You can, like I said earlier, you can edit an application that is not closed yet. You can update your documents, or you can view other vacancies that are currently open. You can actually email the vacancy to a friend or print the vacancy if need be for future reference. The managing of accounts, sorry, lost my phone. Okay, so in managing your account, you can update your information. We've had a few instances where people input the wrong email address. So when we try reaching out to them, we get a mail failure. So just in case in inputting your information, you realize you made a mistake, you have the option to update your information. So we have current information so that when we are trying to reach out to you, it'll be easy to do so. And when you're done with the updates, you can save. Okay, so when you're done, you have the ability to save and to save your work, okay? And we have different channels at which you can contact us on. We are available on accrahro@state.gov. So if you're having any questions, you have any concerns, you are facing any challenge whilst you're applying for a job, you can reach out to us through the accrahro@state.gov email address. And also, since ERA is available online, you can reach us no matter where you are in the world. You can apply for a position in ERA. You don't need to necessarily be in Ghana to apply for a job, for a position. You can be in the United States, you can be in Nigeria, you can be anywhere in the world, and you have access to ERA. So I'll be going now to the Q&A session. So we'll be going over the questions now. Okay, so we have a question that said, I have applied several times, but I have not been called for interview. Usually, when you apply for a position in ERA, or you apply for a position at the embassy, it's important to read through the vacancy announcement. There's a portion which says that only shortlisted applicants will be contacted. So if you don't get any feedback from us, that means you didn't make the shortlisting phase of the recruitment process. Okay, I'm not sure if it's a statement. It says that I have attended 2 interviews, but was not selected. It's quite unfortunate that you were not selected, but when you are done with the interview, it's important to do a post-interview introspect to find out why you didn't make it and improve on it. And then when there's another opportunity that comes up, you apply for that position. Okay. Another question is, what vacancies do you have? We have different positions at the embassy. We have from as low ranking as a janitorial position to a high ranking as a physician position. Since we have different agencies within the embassy, there are several positions that come up. You just need to make sure that you keep checking our embassy website or our social media handles to make sure you are up to date with the vacancies that come up. Yes, there's another question that, please, can I use the same ERA to apply for another job in the USA? The answer is yes. So long as you have a computer and internet access, you will be able to access ERA anywhere in the world. We're still checking out for questions. And the next question is, can students apply for internship? The answer is only US hires, the dependents of US hired and local or the current employees of the mission can have the opportunity to have an internship program in the US Embassy. We don't have internship programs for outside applicants. There's another question that says, can students apply for internship or national service? No, the US Embassy Accra does not accept national service. There's another question that says, is there a mechanic position? We have various positions in the mechanical, because recently we just advertised for an auto mechanic position, which we are currently working on. And they have fuel attendant positions. There are various positions within the mission. And there's another question which says, do you accept voluntary application? The answer is no. We only accept application through error. We don't accept paper applications. We don't accept email applications. You definitely need to have an account created in error to apply for jobs, current jobs at the embassy. You can also apply to the other agency like USAID and Peace Corps. They use the manual process. Like I said, you need to read their solicitation to understand the requirements for the position. I'm still reading the questions. Okay, someone asked the link to the job website. I said you can go to Google, type US Embassy Jobs Accra, and that will take you to the US job site. And someone is saying that they didn't get the explanation with the internship. Can you kindly explain again? I said that the US Embassy does not accept outside internship. The internship is only open to the direct hires of the embassy and the current employees of the mission. So the dependents of the direct hires or the locally employed staff are the only ones who are eligible for internships. There's another question which says, how easily can a veteran get a job? The US Embassy is an equal opportunity employer. So no matter who you are, once you meet the requirements stated in the vacancy announcements and you have the interest for the job, you can apply for that position. There's another question that says, why does it take long to hear from you when we apply for a job? I went over the recruitment process so you would have an idea of what goes into the processes before you even start work. Usually, there are different phases to the recruitment process. When the job closes, the recruitment team would have to shortlist and send the shortlisted applicant to the hiring office, who would in turn get back to us on who we should move forward with. And when we get that information, we then test the applicant's English proficiency and technical proficiency, depending on the vacancy announcements specifications. Once we are done with that, we then schedule for interviews. But it's important to note that it's only those who pass both the English and technical proficiency tests that move forward to the interview stage. So once you move to the interview stage and you are selected, we still need to go through security and medical clearances, which takes from a minimum of 3 months to a year, depending on the hiring mechanism stated on the vacancy announcement. There's a question that says, are your jobs only in Ghana? No, we have jobs around the world. from Nigeria to the US, all around the world. And because ERA can be used worldwide, if you feel there's a job in London that you meet the requirements for and you can apply for it, you can go ahead to do so. There's a question that says, can we get PDF on the qualifications? Once you create the account in ERA, you can actually print the vacancy announcement. So then you can see all the required or the requirements for a position. So that shouldn't be a problem. You have the ability to print the vacancy announcement for future use. So that is not a problem at all. There's a question that says, which jobs are available? We have a physician job currently open. We have a laborer position currently open. We also have a residential security escort position that is currently open to all interested applicants. And then there's an regional environmental office position that is only open to US EFM. So just like I mentioned in my earlier submission, you have to make sure that you fall within the hiring mechanism stated on the vacancy announcement. So please always check to see whether it's open to all applicants, or if it's open to US EFMs only, or if it's open to US citizens only. Please always check that caveat before applying for the position. Okay, we'll wait a few minutes to see if we get any more questions. There's a question that is asking if we have admin jobs. We have several. The answer is yes. We have several administrative positions. As and when they become available, we do advertise those positions. So it's important to check our embassy website and follow us on our social media handles to be updated on vacancies as and when they become available. Okay, so since there are no more questions, I would like to reiterate a few things. One, we only accept application through the ERA, which is the electronic recruitment application platform. We do not accept paper, email, faxed applications. You would need to have an account in ERA to apply for jobs in the mission. However, there are USAID and Peace Corps still accept manual applications. So follow their processes duly to apply for positions. And also it's important to know that when you're applying for a position, read the requirements in the vacancy announcement and make sure you upload all relevant information needed to complete your application, and make sure you submit your application when you're done. Thank you all for taking out time for this session. We are hoping we'll be doing more to reach out to you to answer any questions and submissions you might have. So thank you once again for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day or evening. Bye.